Okay. Hopefully this is a better connection.
Yeah, let's hope so.
All right, let's take this from the top. We were talking about your professional work, and you are a very well-known architect and interior designer in India. But we didn't connect over your professional work. We actually connected over a hashtag. Ripped jeans, currently trending on Twitter. Tell us about the hashtag.
So I haven't met a single woman who would not support what we are saying. Of course, a lot of us don't go out putting it out publicly and all because you've seen the backlash on Twitter, the backlash that I've got. And so who wants to get into controversies? And we have so much to do. So much as a woman, we have so much to accomplish throughout the day, There's so much to be done at work, in the house, outside. So not everybody wants to go out and fight with everybody there. But I think deep down, all the women know and believe that their dressing cannot be evaluated by anybody, or they can't be judged for what they are dressing up as. So at some point, when I have the courage or I can make that effort, or I'm in that mindset to go out and fight there, I do it. And at the other times, there are other women who are doing it for us. So at some point, I think all of us should take that opportunity to go out and put forward our, point of view across and tell other people that this is not accepted. You can't just make these fleeting comments and say, okay, this is what it is. So,
and we all need... Go ahead.
No, I'm saying we all need to do our bit for the future generation or the women around us. And many of them don't have a platform to speak, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a voice. So some of us have to take over that charge and be the voice for everybody around us,
Does this happen often in India where politicians or people with a public platform direct women on how to dress, what to say, what to do?
It happens all the time. It's not just politicians. We are a very patriarchal society. People might not say it, but when girls go out to work in offices, just one look says it all. Somebody might be just stupid enough to say it, but at a lot of times, even without saying, just by looking or with snide comments, it happens all the time. But I pray and I beg and I request all the politicians, at least, you are the moral keepers of our society. You can't take it in one direction. You can't encourage this kind of a thing against the women. You cannot say it, because when they say it, a lot of people follow, and the right becomes wrong. So they cannot say it. They have no business to say it. They need to protect us. They need to push us. They need to make it a progressive society. They cannot make it so regressive. It's not acceptable. It's just not done. I mean, I'm personally very upset with this remark, and I wouldn't take it for myself or for any other woman out there. It's not acceptable.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Rawat, the minister who made those comments, apologized. Do you accept his apology?
Not at all, because he said, "Oh, I apologize for if people are hurt," but at the same time, he did also say that wearing ripped jeans is wrong. So, what kind of an apology is this? It's not an apology. I mean, it's not an apology in any way. So, I don't accept it at all. And to be very honest, if I may say so, and luckily I'm not into politics, although I belong to a political family. My dad was a politician, but this is just fleeting comments made to please their voter, and there is so much of unemployment in the society today. Men have nothing to do, so it's just to engage them and gain popularity, and engaging all these unemployed youth by making these comments which make no sense. But they don't realize, these politicians don't realize the harm they're doing to the society and to the women and to the mindset of both men and women. They are hurting the women by saying things and putting them in a box and telling them, hey, listen, if you do this, you will be commented upon. And they are encouraging the men out there to comment and do whatever they want to do, just because a woman is wearing ripped jeans. I mean, like, really, is this the 2021? So it's not acceptable, and no apologies accepted. They are totally half-hearted. They're an eyewash. Nothing accepted. And
But
I
his
don't even
wife,
I don't even expect them to apologize beyond that, because somebody who can say that, I don't
yeah.
think he'll have the depth to understand the impact.
All right, but his wife came out saying the remarks were taken out of context. The full remarks were taken out of context, and that this was from a cultural point of view. So she's supporting her husband from a cultural viewpoint. Do you think the generational divide between the women themselves in India is another issue that we need to talk about?
Of course, without a doubt. We all have moms and mothers and grandmothers, and who might think, "Oh, okay, dress up like this, wear a suit, wear a sari, wear a dupatta." I agree. But there is a way to talk to them. There is a way to explain it to them, and they understand. India, though it's called a patriarchal society, but it's for all the wrong reasons. For all the right reasons, India is a very matriarchal society. Most of the household culture is run by the women, not by the men, which who are the mothers and the grandmothers. And if they wouldn't have been progressive enough, and what we are talking about, and they deep down they won't want this progress, I wouldn't have been out there working. So
Mm-hmm.
so there is a way to handle that thing, but you cannot defend your husband because he said that. If my husband would say that, uh, I would stand up, and he knows, so he probably wouldn't even say that. I mean, not that he's somebody who would say that, but if there is a man in the house who wants to say it, but he knows he's surrounded by women who are not going to take it, he wouldn't say that. So I think it's wrong to support your husband or your brother or your father who goes out to say these things.
One
I
of
won't
the
support it.
one of the men on social media who, by the way, have reacted to your comments in a very negative way, but also in a positive way. What do you make of the men who say Mr. Rawat is absolutely right in making those comments? And these are young men. They're not. Oh, they are not. The older men in society. These are very young individuals on Twitter making their statement. What do you say to those young men who still hold these values?
I would tell those young men, I mean, and they've said all kinds of things. They've said, walk out of your house without security, then we will see what will happen. And they've said, oh, you're inviting the rapists. Oh, why don't you go topless? Why even wear the top? If the Uttarakhand chief minister says that being topless is against culture, you'll go topless to prove him wrong. That's not the point, but that just shows the shallow mindset that they have. So I would only say that, listen, go out, invest your time and energy into work, get busy. Otherwise, the women who are going to be wearing ripped jeans are going to take your world over, and you won't even know what happened, because we don't have time for this. So you better not waste your time on all this either. So I think they're just wasting their time and our time. And I don't even care. I laugh. I don't get bothered, because it just shows that they are way behind most of the women of the country, or the world for that matter.
You live in India. We're both from the Indian diaspora, but you live in India. I don't. You would have seen firsthand the mindset that the modern Indian woman has these days. What is that in your opinion?
So I think my 100%, 200%, I respect to the modern Indian women. The way they hold their own, they are managing families, they're managing children, they're managing culture, they are the uh, moral keepers of our culture, the festivals, the weddings, everything they're preserving, right from making a charge to going out there in the world and heading PepsiCo's of the world, and being the best entrepreneurs. And I think the modern women is exactly where she should be. But like I said before, I think the men need to step up and stop being so regressive. Yeah.
Right. So
There's nothing wrong with the women at all.
Your message to modern to men in India is stop being regressive, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Please stop being regressive. It's not going to help because women are not going to stop. So, what are you talking about and whom are you talking to? Nobody's listening to you. So, it's better you invest your energies into better progressive things, do progressive things, support people, support your daughters, uh, educate them, and it'll all be a better society. That's my message.
So, one last question for you. What are you teaching your daughters about how to dress?
Bridget, to be very honest, I'm not teaching my daughter anything. She's teaching me. uh, she, I mean, she's the one because luckily, the new generation, I have huge respect for them. They know what to do. They know where to draw the line. Uh, they are where they should be. I mean, most of them, and they are well brought up because they see everything happening around the world. They are on social media. They know right from wrong. Our information came from our neighbors, our homes. It was a little bit in. It was not out of the box. They are very independent children, and she tells me how to dress. Whether not, of course, we don't talk about being conservative or not non-conservative, but we talk about fashion. So she'll tell me how to dress more fashionably. I don't tell her anything. I don't need to. And even if she does dress up in a particular way, she'll go out, she'll make a mistake, she'll realize. But of course, within certain limits. And India does that to you. You can't go, like the men on my Twitter have written, go topless. You can't go topless in India. So that's anyways not happening there. But a little bit here and there, I don't tell her anything, I'll be honest. Even my husband doesn't. We let her be.
So she's learning as she goes.
Yeah, she's learning the ropes. She's discovering. She's realizing what's good, what's bad, and that's the best way. Because if you keep telling your children dress in a particular way, dress in a particular way, they will have that urge to break that chain and break the thing and dress in another way, just to experiment with it. But when you leave it to them, they are very mature. They are very smart and they know what to do. Even if they make a little mistake, they dress inappropriately once or twice, which you and I, all of us have done, and we experience it. And then we know next time what to do. So it's always better to learn it your own way rather than being told. I think being told is wrong.
All right. Now, some people missed the first part of your conversation, so we want to recap real quickly. For those who didn't hear how you came to know about the hashtag in the first place, tell us real quick what Ripped Jeans hashtag is all about and why it's trending on Twitter.
Sure. So, Ripped Jeans hashtag is about a speech made by one of our chief ministers of a state, Uttarakhand. The chief minister is newly appointed, I think just a couple of weeks back. And he goes on to the stage and very dramatically engaging an audience, which I presume are mostly men, to say that I was sitting in this plane and there was this woman sitting next to me. And first I look at her gum boots, then I look up and I look at her knees, and her knees are exposed because she's wearing ripped jeans. And she has 2 children and she's working in an NGO. Her husband is working in JNU. And he says, what kind of a woman who wears ripped jeans can go out and work there? And I don't know what that means. But we also know what he means. So, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And we have to stand up. All of us have to stand up to it and to say that a person in office who's representing the whole world is looking at what he's talking about because he's an Indian politician, cannot make these regressive comments because India is not about this. Indian women are not about this, and not in 2021. And it's not acceptable. And you don't represent us. You may be elected by certain people, but I'm sure they are not representing this thought at all. So please don't go out and make these fleeting comments. It's not acceptable.
What should he have said?
He should have said to apologize.
In his apology, what should he have said in your opinion?
He should have said it's a momentary lapse of judgment, and I got carried away to say something which was completely not to be said, and I don't believe in it, and I regret saying it, and I'm sorry. The best way to apologize is to say sorry. He can't defend what he said because there's nothing to defend about. It's wrong. It's completely wrong.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Seetu, and look forward to having a conversation with you again. Thanks for standing up for women.
Thank you, Bridget. Lovely talking to you too. And thanks for everybody who came on a Sunday morning, 10 a.m. after a weekend to hear us. Thank you, everyone.
All right, some great comments there for you as well. Lots of comments, by the way, and all very, very good to hear. So they've obviously enjoyed your perspective. No doubt our supporters of yours too.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thanks for hearing me out. Thank you.
All right, I'm sure we'll speak to you again at some point, and hopefully it's not over a hashtag, huh?
Absolutely. Look forward. Thank you. Bye, Bridget. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.